Hello and welcome to another edition of the Door 14 Hockey Podcast. I'm your host Marty, alongside Aaron.
Oh, hi.
The screen. Sorry, actually, let me finish introducing people first. Aaron, hi, and John.
Hi.
Hi. Yes,
Fucking
for
devotion.
anybody who's not watching, I'm a creature of comfort in terms of like I always have the screen, so I can see. You know, it's usually Dave, and then I think John, and then Aaron. I think that's usually the way. So it's been switched around tonight, and Aaron's up in the top corner, and John's down below.
I wasn't expecting it, and John's now took the huff.
Yeah, so I completely threw me off whenever I first started there. So yes, hello, welcome to another edition of the Door 14 Hockey Podcast. This is our second off-season special. We had one off-season special last month, June, and we're now at the end of July. So it's been a full month, boys, and I was going to say not too much has happened. It's just been a lot of signings over the course of the last month or so. But there's been some, when I look back to see what the stories we covered in our last off-season podcast, where we covered things like the Manchester news for the AO Arena. We looked at the news about about the Belfast Giants and the O2 deal and stuff that was going on there. And we looked at a few other things. But actually, there's been some specific elite league specific things that have come up, and there's some of the stories that we haven't had a chance to get together and talk about in front of people, and also for people to listen to us talk about those things, which we will get to. Normally our podcast follows a structure, period 1, 2, 3, like a hockey game for anybody who's new to our podcast, but given that it's our off-season special and we don't really have much news to talk about in some of the other areas, we just thought, you know what, let's just do one show just covering all the stories and be down with the structure, even if it's ripping me apart inside. Aaron, how are you doing?
All good here. Can't really complain. I've got I had a nice wee weekend away there to Tollymore, and then on Friday I'm off for 2 weeks from work, so I am already in holiday mode.
Nice. And John, you're just back from some outer Highlands island somewhere, something
Outer
like
Highlands
that.
Island.
Something like
Nice.
that, yeah.
The Inner Hebrides. Thank you. I was in
The
Island Mall.
outers or inners.
It's whether you're an innie or an outie, basically.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're all Westies, so they're all a certain kind. But no, it was great. Kids away, first holiday with Harris, which was quite nice. And my daughter Isla absolutely buzzing, because if anyone listening or watching is a family person, you will know that the Isle of Mull, and specifically the town of Tobermory, is the home of a very popular children's show called Balamory. That's the show with all the colourful houses along the seafront. And my daughter was...
That's Whitehead.
Not... Well, my daughter was buzzing not just to see the houses, but as it turned out, me having a pint was the best thing that could have happened in the entire holiday. So I went for a wee pint, and the pub had a really nice seating area out the front. This is on the main street, looking out over the harbour. And the family came back, sat with me while I was finishing the pint, and then who walks out of the pub but two of the characters? PC Plum, of course, keeping everyone safe, but he was in his civvies, he was on his day off. And Miss Hooley, the nursery teacher, came out. Miss Hooley, who tells us the story. And they came out and had a lovely chat with Isla, let her get a wee photo. They were fantastic. And Isla stood there the entire time, completely silent, having a complete 4-year-old out-of-body experience. Which, I mean, look, it's happened to the best of us. It's happened with me at the ice hockey. So I can totally understand what she was going through.
Yeah, I mean, I met one of my idols a few years ago in London. I met David Tennant.
Stop blowing air up Todd Kelman, would you?
You're funny. I met David Tennant, and I remember trying to act cool and like chat to him and be like, you know, whatever. But I think it really came out as I don't think any words actually came out of my mouth.
What did it come out as?
I think he just looked at me and was like, "Is this man okay?" And I think my wife was just like, "Yeah, he's
all right.
Yeah,
He's not having a
fine.
stroke. He's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine."
I think
But I'm
that's
gonna,
an appropriate reaction to David Tennant. That's all right.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, I'm gonna meet him again next month in September. So hopefully,
Does he know this?
Yes. No, not yet.
He does now.
So hopefully I can
Which
I can
which hedge or which bush are you hiding in?
No, I'm going to Northern Ireland Comic Con, and he's one of the guests at Northern Ireland Comic Con this year. So we've got a family.
Oh yes.
And yeah, it's nerdy, and yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. Anyway, no
Cool.
Dave tonight. Dave just recently had work done in the house, renovation work, and Gemma, his wife, is trying to get him to do all of the DIY projects in the house before he turns into Hockey Dave in the next few weeks, and he's never seen again for the next few months. So he's been forced to do DIY projects.
Then
So,
does Dave is Dave like a beautiful butterfly? Does Dave like do a cocoon during the summer to do all the podcast or all the housework, and then when podcast season and hockey season comes out, he does, as John just says, emerge as a beautiful butterfly with all his amazing jerseys. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yep.
Sure.
That's
10
sure.
10 points if anyone gets the reference.
I've got to say I don't get the reference.
What?
I don't get the reference. But anyway.
Answers in the chat. Thank you very much.
Actually, a little bit disappointed in you, Marty.
Sorry. Yes.
It'll come up soon. You'll start watching it sooner or later.
Oh, is it a kids show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna. Okay. As soon as I. Oh, it's a movie. Oh, okay. Is it Pixar?
Is it Pixar or DreamWorks? I think it's DreamWorks.
I think it's Pixar. I think it's Pixar.
This is riveting stuff. This is exactly what people want to listen to.
Oh no, I think you're right. I think it's Pixar.
Anyway, let's Bugs Life. Is someone suggesting here? Is it Bugs Life?
It's a Bug's Life.
Oh, okay. Yay, well done, Ryan. Thank you. I actually haven't seen Bugs Life. It's one of the Pixar ones I haven't seen. So I will rectify that. I'll rectify that over the next few.
It was Ants was the DreamWorks one, wasn't it? They always done the same movie at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we will talk about podcast
Anyway.
about hockey.
Yes. So we also have moved the podcast to a Wednesday night. So apologies to Anthony on Banners on the Wall, because we're up against him tonight. Not that we're going to take any of his viewers and vice versa. But we've got very important technical things to do tomorrow night in terms of just and that's why we're trying to do the podcast. Yeah.
Go Webs, go.
More nerdy stuff tomorrow night, and we've decided to sacrifice the regular podcast night so we can go and see Spider-Man.
You guys.
We are. You're going Friday. So yes. Anyway, let's get stuck into our stories that we haven't covered yet. As of since June. Like last week of June, I think it was last time we got together. So let's have a quick look, boys, at some of the stories that we maybe have covered on our socials, but we haven't actually had a proper chance to talk about. Let's start with the Elite League. So a lot of the stories are in relation to the Elite League and some of the things that they've put out over the course of the last month. The first one that was noted was Motorpoint have been announced as the principal commercial partner of the Elite League moving forward, and that is a contract that has been signed for the next 5 seasons. So a 5-season deal to the principal commercial partner, and known as the Motorpoint. It'll now be known as the Motorpoint Elite League, and the partnership will last until 2031. And it's the first time that a leading nearly new and used car retailer has held the naming rights of a professional sports league. So exclusive naming rights for both the regular season and playoff games. Motorpoint will be notably present across the league, and new integrated branding, commercial activations, selected games, and standalone activities at playoffs. So we've seen Cardiff's. We'll be looking at a few of the jerseys later on, but we've seen Cardiff's jersey, and we know that the Motorpoint Elite League logo is there on that, because we always have the Elite League logo on the jerseys.
And Guildford.
So Motorpoint is on there, and Guildford. Yep, sorry, apologies. So we'll see those at the, later in the podcast. But guys, I mean, Motorpoint is obviously Nottingham is also the Nottingham Arena is also the Motorpoint Arena. So we have Motorpoint Arena. Playoffs are in Motorpoint Arena, and then we have Motorpoint Elite League. Some people saying that that means that playoffs will be then in Nottingham until 2031, given the fact that the naming is the same, Motorpoint and Motorpoint. But I suppose the first question is a principal sponsor for the league. Big thing for the league. How is it going to impact them overall? And John, we'll come to you about that one.
I mean, the league needed a principal sponsor. It absolutely had to have it. to have the top level of the sport not covered by a large business, it smacked of not that the league didn't want it or didn't need it, that it couldn't advertise itself in the right way, that it couldn't go out and grab a business and say, look, we're the biggest indoor sport in the country. You've got a captive audience for 2.5 hours, most games. Your brand can be spread across all those games, across, what is it, nearly 300 odd games we've got spread across the league throughout the league and Challenge Cup, group stage of the Challenge Cup. Now, interesting, I'm going to come back to the Challenge Cup. So not being able to sell the game, sell the league in a way that you could get a principal sponsor for a couple of seasons looked really bad. And that's where a lot of the arguments came from. Oh, the league isn't growing, the league isn't doing enough to make things better and bigger. Now we've got it, that's great. Now, there's a comment in the chat I'm going to bring up which says conflict of interest. Honestly, I can't see the conflict. Motorpoint happened to also have the naming rights for Nottingham's arena. That doesn't instantly mean that anyone at Motorpoint is going to go out to whoever our league chairman is, Tony Smith, I believe it still is, and say, right, Nottingham have to win the league this year because we also sponsor their arena. I mean, if you were going to have any sponsor who had enough clout to say they were going to go to the league and say, this is who we want to win, you'd perhaps look over to Belfast and look at O2. So the argument of there's a crooked deal here or there's a conflict of interest, it doesn't hold water for me. So a sponsor's great.
To that point, though, it's like that comparison, the O2 is just the Belfast Giants and the O2 Arena, right? This comparison is that they are now the sponsors of the entire league. So I don't know if it's
they're sponsors of the entire league. They're the sponsors of an arena that has been used significantly for playoff finals weekend. We know that playoff finals weekend. We'll talk about the playoff finals weekend tickets and the sheer shit show that it was.
Beep.
Season 11 and Marty has loosened up. We can swear on the podcast. That little red E is coming.
So I suppose is the conflict of interest there that people are crying out for change to happen to playoff final weekend. We obviously know, as we talked about in the last podcast, and we talked about at the start of this podcast, Manchester now becoming effectively an arena team with the AO Arena. Significantly larger a number of people can fit in that arena. It's in a major city, which is a really good transport hub.
I bought my fridge from AO. I don't instantly decide that Manchester are going to win the league.
I don't think that's what they're saying. I think what they're saying is does it mean that the Motorpoint Arena is guaranteed to have the playoff final weekend for the next 5 odd years?
They feel like they would have the clout. If we're sponsoring the league, then we want the money in our arena. I don't think
it's not their arena. They're paying to advertise at the arena to have the naming rights. It's not their arena. The Odyssey is not O2's. They're paying to have a big feckin' sign on the front of the building, and as it potentially might turn out, a big feckin' sign on the front of our jersey.
On the jersey.
But whenever that's released, God help TikTok whenever that video goes out, because if everyone was really interested in my Cardiff video, wait for the Belfast one if that's true.
To be honest with you, I think if that happens, I think there won't be just your video on TikTok. I think we'll all be doing one. There was a comment.
Yes, there will. Everyone will come to my video because it'll be the best.
There's actually, just because you're on that, let's have a quick. I just want to quickly make a comment. We got a message today exactly about that. About that exact thing. Let me just bring it up so I can find it. Keep talking, and I'll come back to you in a second. Let me just find the comment.
I think the concerns are valid. I see what you're saying there, John, but I think that if I was in Motorpoint's shoes and I was like, I'm sponsoring the league, I've got this, I sponsored this stadium here or whatever, I will get more cut of the profits if it's in this arena again. So I want it here.
That's not how that corporate sponsorship's going to work. That's not how those businesses work. And listen, the league is going to be completely and utterly mental if at the end of the current agreement at 2029 that playoffs doesn't move to Manchester. If Manchester Storm can make a long stand in the AO Arena and make it 10 years, make it more, whatever they can sign, whatever they can agree, if playoffs doesn't move to to Manchester, then the league are... Yeah, at that point, I will put my hands up and say something weird is going on here, because the 2030 playoffs 100% should be in Manchester. And if they're not,
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that there could be something weird going on.
Yeah. Just coming back to the comment I was saying about the O2 branding thing. We got a comment from Jonathan Hughes that was basically saying about those rumors about the Giants jersey. And he made a joke about, because we were talking about how bad not how bad. Sorry, 5-on-3 hockey. The Glasgow plan. We'll look at it in a few minutes. But he talked about, obviously, he said that'll be nicer than the Giants one if it comes true. And my comment back to him was, well, we've seen the rumors too, and we have very strong opinions and feelings about it. If it does turn to be true, that will be something we'll wait and see what happens in the next few weeks. I think
it's grounded in.
I think we've got about
history, right?
I think we've got 3 weeks. I think or so before the Belfast Giants have their jersey launch pre-season event in W5. I think something around about the 21st of August, about 3 weeks away, I think now. Yep. So we'll get our first chance to have a look at the jerseys then for that one. And I'm sure on the 22nd or whatever day it is after, we'll be on straight away to give our 2 cents. 27th. There you go. Thank you, Andrew.
Is it every single O2 kit sport that they sponsor?
Yeah. I mean,
it's always buying center, and then wow.
Yeah.
I know I've seen it in the rugby, but
it is. But I think you have to look at not just look at what O2 sponsor. It's look at what the standard is across all
because in
sports.
football, it's always there, isn't it? It's the Vodafone,
football,
and all that
rugby,
type of stuff.
a lot of other sports. You'll find that the logo, the team logo, the team crest is usually a small logo on
that's fair.
An upper corner of the chest. Hockey jerseys are very different because they're designed to be much more flowing. They're a bigger garment all in.
And I think that's the interesting thing is I think people are concerned about the fact that because obviously the history of or the pattern of O2 sponsored jerseys are exactly as you were saying, large O2, small thing. But then I suppose that's for all sports, as you say, John. It's sports that kind of leads itself to. Whereas our sport is completely different in that obviously sponsorship takes a back seat to the main logo. So hopefully it is just a thing, and actually the O2 thing will be smaller and not as intrusive. But anyway, that's not. Get sidetracked.
That's a conversation for down the line.
Yeah,
we're
going to talk about jerseys
next, but I'll leave it till next time.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Maybe we could talk about it after when we're talking about jerseys, sure, and we'll push back to it later on. Let's bring it back to the Elite League. Just this whole Motorpoint. Before we move on, to just finish off with the Motorpoint principal sponsor. The logo obviously has changed. Aaron, you've seen the logo. It looks like a rugby ball. It's like an elongated version of the old Elite League logo. I mean, what's your take? What's your thoughts? I mean, does it stand out to you as a weird looking shape as well, like everybody's saying?
It's like everyone is saying. I would have preferred that it was just maybe down at the very bottom and a bit smaller, but it is doing its job because up until it was announced, I never really knew what Motorpoint was. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I knew it was an arena, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
We don't have Motorpoint over here,
no.
right?
I suppose ours is Charleshurst, isn't it? And then is the closest thing to Motorpoint because it's their large. Yeah, so we're Charleshurst, and you guys in Scotland are what's that brand called that I always see on all
Arnold Clark.
Stuff? Arnold Clark, yeah. So I think that's kind of that idea.
I'd never heard of them. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so since that they sponsored the league, I was like, I better look these guys up to see what they actually do.
I suppose time will tell if it pays off. I mean, we've seen title sponsors for the Elite League before. We remember seeing Flybe was one of the ones I remember back in the earlier days of the Elite League. We had Flybe sponsor before they went they went bankrupt, I think. So they had to pull out. I don't really remember. I'm trying to think if there's any other key. Viaplay, didn't they sponsor, or did they? I don't think they sponsored the league though. Did they sponsor the whole league for a full year, or did they only do playoffs? But yeah, the Viaplay.
Did they ever
thing.
change the logo for those though?
I think they
I
had
think they did. I think they had like a logo for it or
Talk
something.
about yourself. Let me just go have a quick look.
He's going to check his jerseys.
Oh,
I guess to Marty's point about Fly Maybe, there's one little line at the end here. Motorpoint announced a stellar set of annual results last month with the pre-tax profits of up to 83% a year benefit. So they're doing well. So hopefully the sponsorship money will keep coming and not fall apart like Fly Maybe.
No, it was a separate patch that was on all of the jerseys. They had a little separate patch on the other side of the logo, of the Elite League logo. They had a separate patch for the sponsors. They had Zoom Airlines one year, and then they've had Flybe was another one. So they had separate patches.
I remember Zoom, actually. I think I got one of those jerseys kicking about somewhere, actually.
Yeah. So
I would have preferred it like that rather than changing the actual
logo
itself.
Speaking of playoffs, just because we were talking about playoffs and we're talking about the Motorpoint Arena, the other thing that happened while we were in the space of this last month since our last podcast recording was the Elite League released and sold out the playoffs weekend, or at least sold out the tickets that were available to buy. Don't know how many tickets are left, i.e. how many tickets the sports entertainment tour still has, because we don't know how many tickets they were given in the first place. It was a bit of a, as I said earlier, it was a bit of a horrocks. It was a bit of a bad showing. They had a pre-launch of the tickets, or pre-sale of the tickets for season ticket holders. That in and of itself was a nightmare. So season ticket holders went on to buy the tickets for their respective teams, to either find that they were crashed out of the site, that the what else happened, that they were knocked out of the line after sitting in the line for a bit. We also had the thing that what you could buy more than the season tickets that you held. So if you had, say, 2 season tickets, you could still buy 4 season tickets or whatever. Still buy 4 tickets or whatever. So there was no real cap on the number of tickets in terms of what each person could buy. You could buy more than your actual season ticket seats. So that became a bit of an issue too. Then we had people, then whenever teams were sold out of their seats, they were other teams were able to buy seats of the opposite teams, so that was happening too. And then when it came to the fact that I think they said it was sold out within 3 minutes or something, which is fine, but again, we don't know how many tickets went on sale on that day because we don't know how many sports entertainment were given. And then the remaining tickets were all sold out a week or so later, after the pre-sale window closed, and they put it out on general sale. All the remaining tickets were out, and they obviously went as well. Guys, I mean, you've seen the responses online. So many people lost out on the tickets. Then you had people who live either in Nottingham, Sheffield, Manchester, not too far from Nottingham itself, where the only option they would have would be to buy tickets from a sports entertainment tours. But then why would they buy a sports entertainment tour package whenever they live proximity enough to actually right there? So they wouldn't need things like the hotel stay and all that type of thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can see in the comments already people saying 902 couldn't get anything. Playoff finals weekend was a train wreck. What's your take? I know we didn't buy playoff final tickets this year, but what's your take on just the things that you've seen online?
We've never seen anything like this. I know it's always been busy. Last year was sold out fairly, not in 3 minutes to be fair, but it was sold out by the weekend, from what I can remember.
I mean, sell out by the weekend is nothing unusual when it comes to playoffs. The fact that they're now releasing playoff final weekend tickets before the season has even started. Now, that's the last 2 seasons they've done that. Last year, admittedly, bigger fan backlash about the travel package supplier. And I think people held off. Now, that being said, they're saying it's sold out. Is it? Actually, are there still going to be day tickets released? Are there still going to be weekend tickets released? When sport entertainment tours can't sell all of their tickets, they will obviously be released for general sale. What I hope they don't do is wait until the weekend, and then you're relying on Nottingham fans to fill those seats, or potentially the odd Sheffield fan or Manchester fan to come across. Because you could always have the worst thing that potentially happens to playoffs is that Sheffield and Nottingham potentially don't make it. Then you've got 2 empty sides across the arena because
Yeah.
they've moved the fans around this year, and I think I'm right in saying the sort of blocks 1 to 4 or something, 4 or 5 are Sheffield, and the opposite ones are now Nottingham. I think Nottingham have been shifted over to the other side of the arena. I might be wrong. I can't remember. I was looking at the map earlier, and it doesn't show you what the areas are anymore, based on that. But yeah,
I suppose the big thing is, I mean, the other question comes in that, yes, okay, they were sold out, which they're saying, there was demand and people bought them or whatever it was. And you could argue then it doesn't really matter at what part of the year you sell them because they still sold out. But I think it came as a bit of a surprise for me too that whenever they announced, they were like, oh, we're going to be releasing the tickets now for playoffs in July. And they were gone in July. And you're thinking to yourself, I mean, what happened the days when you could buy the playoff tickets went on sale in January time? I just think it's poor timing as well, just for, you've got fans right around the league who are paying out money for obviously starting to pay out money for their season tickets at the moment, so they're paying that out. They're paying out money at the moment for the preseason. Well, some of us, I just found out that some of the other teams, we were chatting to one of the guys I was chatting to someone on a Nottingham fan online through our socials, and she said they include the playoff, the preseason games are included in their tickets, which ours aren't anymore. So some of us are paying out money for our preseason games as well, and then some of us are paying out. Some fans are paying out money for traveling across to Germany for preseason games too, for Belfast. And then you've also got then the release of the jerseys coming out, so people are trying to save money for the release of the jerseys as well. It just seemed like a really interesting, just weird time to put those tickets out for sale. Now the Elite League will say, well, it doesn't really matter when we put them out because we've shown that we can put them out in July and they sell out. So what's the issue here? But I just think it was odd.
I know exactly what they've shown. That it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't matter when they put them out. They'll still get slated for it because, of course, they will. It's the Elite League, and we all love to bash them. The other thing is, if they're selling out in 3 or 4 minutes, Nottingham's the wrong venue.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. How much bigger is Manchester?
Manchester
10,000 more.
Yeah, something like 20. Yeah, it's like 20. They can hold something like 21,000 or something along those lines.
Just over 21,000 in Manchester if they fill the whole bowl. I'm hearing for their standard league games and things, they're going to only have the lower bowl.
Yes, lower tier.
And they're keeping it like Belfast. They're going to have a dead end, which I think they can still bring seats out for ice hockey. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they possibly can.
I think they can go full bowl. And they can go 2-tier, so they can go lower tier and upper tier. So you're talking big crowd could be there.
That'll be someplace.
This is just back to it. It's a complete no-brainer that if Manchester ends up as a long-term tenant in the AO Arena, playoffs has to move.
I mean, it looks. Yeah. I mean, it does look great. If you look at any of the photographs from inside of the arena, especially the ones they've been putting out for like promoting obviously Manchester's move there, it does look impressive. I know they're only using a lower bowl, but whenever you look at the higher, the lower tier, but when you look at things of the higher tier, you can see like the digital banners and a bunch of other things, which looks great. And speaking of digital banners, you guys, I don't know how many people who are watching or listening. I don't know if you've seen the photographs that were put out today from, I don't know where they came from. Dave sent them to us in a group chat. He probably got them from one of the Belfast Giants group, like one of the Belfast Giants WhatsApp groups or something anyway, because I know he's in one of those. But there's photographs of the new screens and digital banner in Belfast O2.
Is it a digital banner as well? I just saw it.
Yeah. So if you look at the picture, Aaron, if you go into the picture and you look, the black digital banner is running around the top of the boxes, the private boxes at the top. So it runs along there, along the top. So they took away the sponsor. They took away the sponsorship banners that are there. The big sponsor. They're gone. It's not electric. It's not a banner, a ticker banner around there. So
very fancy.
It looks good.
I was just taken away by the big screen. To be fair, I didn't notice anything else.
Yeah. Sorry, we diverged again back into Belfast.
Digress.
We do. Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting to see playoffs were it just seemed like a real. Just really bad
in 2030, if and when that happens.
Oh, there you
playoff
go. Yeah.
Weekends will be amazing. Like thousands upon thousands of hockey fans in one location. Love it.
Yeah.
As far as your sort of screens and banners, this is the O2, obviously getting its work done. So that screen, I believe, is where one of the old pictures of a player used to be. That's the opposite corner from Boomerang, isn't it?
Yep.
That's over at the
think
old
so, yeah.
media corner, media box.
They're standing at door 15, I think.
Oh, is that? Oh, if that's door 15, that is BC then.
Yeah,
That
that's
is right,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
Um,
the picture's being taken from door 15 over towards door 9 or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then just above the sort of joint in that scissor lift there, Aaron, to the left of that, that's the new digital banners
screens.
running along the top
Yeah,
edge.
yeah.
So I mean, tell you
That'll
what,
be
guys,
impressive.
the intro and like entry for the Giants and everything to the arena is going to be epic. Like it's going to be second only to remember when they did fireworks.
Yeah.
I miss the fireworks. See, if I'm honest, I really miss the fireworks.
Yeah.
But I get why they didn't do it anymore. But anyway,
Health and safety and all that malarkey.
They still do the little sparkles of the fire, you know. still do the-
sparkles.
Sparkles and
Best way of describing it. They do sparkles.
They do sparkles now.
Fireworks.
Oh, I disappeared. I disappeared. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, they do sparkles now. And fireworks. Or no, sorry, fire. Just flamethrowers.
Sparkles and fire.
So anyway.
Yep.
Okay. What other
fan of
news
that OT
stories
money.
do we have? Sorry?
So, as Ryan said about getting some serious upgrades, I'm like, it feels like a bit of O2 money.
It does feel like a bit of O2 money. It does indeed.
Do you know, actually, I'm going to
O2
ask
money.
my question that I'm
Okay.
going to. I know you said to ask it later, Marty, but
Go
this
for it.
feels like an appropriate time. Let's say,
Mhm.
okay, as Belfast Giants fans, let's say it does turn round and we have a massive O2 center of our jersey. Okay, seeing the investment that we're seeing in the O2 arena at the moment, is that worth it? Like we've got the big screens, we've got the new health and safety or the health suite and all that type of stuff. Fair enough, that might not just be O2 money, but with all
The
the
Colin
investment,
Shields Performance Center, you mean?
the Colin Shields
Performance
Performance
Center. Yeah.
Yes, is it worth it?
No,
No.
it's not. It's like selling your soul to the devil. No, I stand by the badge, the team badge, and team is more important than any sponsorship, and shouldn't be. It shouldn't be taken away from. It should be the most dominant thing. When you talk about this all the time, we talk about this when we're looking at jersey designs throughout the year.
Yeah,
And we talk about.
I was just being devil's advocate.
Yeah. No, I get it. I genuinely think they'll make a massive if the Giants organization does do that. If that is the case, then that's what happens. I think they're going to have to turn off their notifications and turn off their comments for a short while on their socials because it's not going to go down well.
Any
Well,
other
look at
hockey
it a
team out
different
there
way,
that's
Marty.
ever done it?
No.
Not like I'm not just talking about EA, I'm talking about across every single league. It's a standard to have the logo bang center and
Oh yeah,
badge.
no, your branding, your badge is
They'll
what
not do
the
it.
players play pride in. Your play and fans take pride in. The fans want to see players playing in the color in their team colors, and that represents a massive thing for their cities as well. I mean, Belfast Giants. You can either look at the neo logo or the old logo. It doesn't matter which logo you look at. It's important. It has history. It plays a massive role for fans, and fans really get behind that logo for a reason because obviously it plays such an important role in Northern Ireland. So let's not, it would be a massive mistake to.
But Marty,
To draw the
it
attention
won't
away from
even
it.
just be socials. It won't just be about turning off notifications. All the indications are that they're going to release these jerseys at the fan event. So they're going to fill the Q5 with fans. Yeah, I mean, what better venue is there to get a sense of
I mean,
feeling from the fans if they choose to do
Yeah.
that? I mean, that's potentially insane to do that.
at the moment, there does seem to be a bit of fear factor going on at the moment with the idea that it might happen, because it's a rumor that's went around and people are kind of jumping on this because, obviously they're looking at other things as we talked about. So it's a rumor that people are starting to pay attention to. But if we go back to the start of the off season, and if you're a regular listener to A View from the Bridge, they had Fitzpatrick on there talking about all of the whenever the O2 thing was announced, he was on and they were talking about what to expect and what might happen, and he alluded to a couple of things. First thing he alluded to was this change that we're currently seeing in the O2 Arena in Belfast. So the screens and the banner and everything else. He talked about that, and he said about how a lot of investment been putting in. We see the investment that's been putting into the planning permission they got for the Colin Shields Performance Centre.
If it's
and
not
obviously
called
the money-
that, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I'm going to be so devastated. So you've got all of the money that's been put into that, but he had also kind of alluded to the idea that there would be potentially no sponsorship on the jersey, is what he said on that podcast. Now he said there'd be potentially no sponsorship,
As in no other sponsorship apart from O2.
No, he said no sponsorship.
No, sorry, that's just not even feasible. The
said no
NHL
sponsorship.
can't go without sponsorship now.
I don't know. Well,
I could see it being no sponsorship bar O2.
Okay.
But how do the Giants market them? There is no way even a company like O2 can prop up and fund the team to the same volume as what now. I don't have a jersey here to show just now because my Giants jersey is a playoff one, but to the same tune as like the one behind you, Aaron. So all the multiple sponsors across it. The one that I'll say that is definitely going to be there, we can be 100% certain, is Motorpoint because it's on all the jerseys.
Yeah,
and we'll show that in a second. Motorpoint will be on the chest, so Motorpoint will be there. O2 absolutely will be there. If Motorpoint are going to be on there, of course O2 is going to be on there. Every other local business, Premier Sports, Elite League,
there you go. Yeah,
on there, and they're paying for that sponsorship.
But
O2
then I
cannot
suppose
invest that amount of money to be the only sponsor on the jersey.
But then I suppose
it just won't happen.
But then I suppose those sponsorships are now going to be ice, like ice or
Screen.
No, ice screen. The screens is in like the ticker thing, or potentially around obviously the boards. So that's maybe what they're paying for now instead.
But
Of an actual jersey.
We've always had sponsors that are on the jerseys, that are on the boards, that are under the ice.
I know.
I'm sorry to be the naysayer. I'd be the first one to absolutely love to see a clean jersey with one or two sponsors, one or two major sponsors, the league sponsor and the main team sponsor. Would absolutely love it. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen in the big European leagues. It doesn't happen in the NHL. It's not going to happen here.
Yeah, but none of the other teams. Well, not that I know of. I don't think any of the other teams across Europe have as big a sponsorship as what O2 are going to be doing for Belfast. Oh yeah, okay, Red Bull. Okay, okay, yep, okay, yep. Fair point.
Listen, the other thing, being totally clear on it, that is, even if the Giants managed to get away with no sponsors or minimal sponsors on their jersey, it doesn't matter. And do you want to know why? Because they haven't designed a good jersey in years.
Oh well, yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's clean. It'll be awful anyway.
This is my fear for the O2 bang in the center, because I think we all kind of agreed that last year's jersey was one of the worst. So did they just turn around and say, "Hold my beer"? And that's what we're going to.
I just can't imagine it being any worse than what last year's was. That weird mummy design, weird thing, stripes.
You thought it was bad with the tie dye.
Oh, I thought the tie-dye one, the weird 70s tie-dye one, looked weird because it just looked like, obviously, yeah, tie-dye is just bleaching stuff, but it was just weird. It just looked like the color of your jersey had faded in the wash. It was just weird. Again, I don't like it.
Do you know what?
Anyway,
we're talking jerseys, Marty, and we're not doing periods. Do you know what? We've got jerseys to talk about, so why don't we just jump into it? We can come back to the last couple of stories to round off the podcast.
That'll do. Why not?
Like, it's a natural segue.
Let's just do it. Yeah, it's completely
so.
Throw me off. I'm having real panic over it. But yeah, let's do it.
Wait, we'll do a special podcast.
I'm
in
flexible
like 3
now.
weeks whenever the Giants jersey gets put out. So I'll do the instant reaction on TikTok where I'll completely lose my head, and then we'll all get together that night and we'll do a special podcast.
Well, actually, it'll be in around our next podcast recording anyway, so it works out quite well.
There you So, guys, a few jerseys have been released across the Elite League and the National League and the SNL. Actually, I'm going to bring up an SNL jersey later on because I actually really like it. So, starting off with the Guildford Flames. So, the Guildford Flames have released their away, that's the white, and their home Challenge Cup jerseys, which I think look really nice. We'll come back to that. The gold one is their special third jersey for the season. So this was apparently due to high demand. They've brought back the gold sort of special third jersey. Now, I got my wrist slapped on this week or last week when I did a video on this. So if anyone's been listening to this podcast for the last few years, we've always said since Guildford came into the league, one of the biggest frustrations we had was the fact that due to whatever agreement Guildford have or clearly had with the Calgary Flames, there was a stipulation that meant that they couldn't produce replica jerseys for a long time. Now, I don't know exactly when that changed, but certainly it's changed now because both that white, the maroon, and I assume the gold third jersey will all now be available through Legacy Sportswear. I'm going to give them their name because they called us out on it. They'll be available as replicas. So, Guildford fans, replica jerseys are on the offering. But guys, what do you make of Guildford's Cup jersey and special third jersey? So we're still to see their league jersey, but we've probably got a good idea based on what we can see here.
Go for it, Marty.
I personally, I think they're great looking jerseys. I really like those Challenge Cup variation colors. I just think they really stand out well. And I love that use of that Guildford Flames Ice Hockey Club and logo thing in the middle. I genuinely think these are really nice, clean looking jerseys. And I think they've done a really great job here on the design. Now, I know people argue differently about this. And I understand the little flame things on the arms of the white and the maroony colored one, and obviously it's along the bottom end of the gold navy colored one, right across the bottom of the jersey. And I'm sure people really like it. I personally don't like it. I think it would look cleaner and a bit nicer without it. But obviously it's Flames, so therefore it makes sense to have it on there.
Marty,
it's just a small thing.
They're not the worst Flames on a jersey, and we'll get to that. Aaron, what's your take on the jerseys?
I actually think they're all of them are really nice. I'm sitting here, well, Marty, the reason why I passed it on to Marty was to give myself more time to try to choose my favorite. I like them all. I think they're really strong. At first, I thought the navy one was going to be my fave, but I'm going maroon. I think the maroon is, I think maroon's my favorite. I think it looks really slick. I would love to have seen the navy one with the circle. I know that they're doing an alternative logo. Technically, but having the full circle with the Guildford Flames Ice Hockey Club on the navy, I think would have been really nice, really special.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as you point out, John, as you point out, there you go. There's the Motorpoint sponsorship right there in the middle, or on the chest on the left hand side, on the right hand side.
Giants fans, take note that little logo, regardless of everything else you've heard, that's going to be on your Giants jerseys this season. There is
that
no
Motorpoint
to have given
the
that
Motorpoint
logo will be on because, and I'll show you why, because we can confirm that it'll be on all the jerseys because it's on all Cardiff Devils jerseys as well for this season.
But now, is the actual Elite League logo?
Yeah,
it's on there.
It's got Motorpoint on it.
Yes, it's the elongated one.
It's the Motorpoint rebranded logo on the neck. And then Motorpoint are getting the right chest, the right upper chest area on all Elite League jerseys. Now, looking specifically at Cardiff's jerseys this year, a bit of backstory for anyone who doesn't know, the Cardiff Devils are going into their 40th season this year. So these are 40th anniversary jerseys, tracking the history of the club through its varying logos. So you can see the OG logo on the white jersey, let's say the logo that we all grew up with the Cardiff Devils on the black jersey, and the now more modern flattened Devil logo that you can see on the home red jersey. Now the green jersey is a season ticket exclusive jersey for this season. Guys, one thing that has to be said, the front of the jersey is incredibly clean. Very few sponsors. They've got their title sponsor along the bottom, or sorry, at the top, sorry, Castle Dairies. They've got their secondary sponsor down at the bottom. Everything else is limited across to the arms. That said, every single one of these jerseys is horrendous.
Terrible.
Worst
I wish
application
I
of
had something
flames on
nice
a
to say
jersey.
about them.
Look, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to say something nice about them. I'll say something nice about them.
I don't have to buy one.
Well, yeah, it's not my team, so I don't have to. Anyway, I agree. The Flames are god awful, but if you're
Dog shit.
wanting to celebrate a milestone of a 40th anniversary, and you want to throw back to all the different eras of the Cardiff Devils and pay tribute to each era of the Cardiff Devils, and obviously they've done that with the logos and the different logo on each of the home way, and I'm going to guess that's a Challenge Cup jersey. I think if you're going to do that, then yes, bring in and factor in different designs from the different years. So I know that the Flames design was on early year 1990 style jerseys. So if you go back and look at the 1990 style Cardiff jerseys, they had the Flames as part of it. So okay, fair enough. I think it's great because the white one with the original Cardiff Devils logo is very reminiscent of the 90s Cardiff Devils jerseys in terms of the Flames look. They have that grey aspect to them. They have that same kind of, yeah, it just, that whole jersey just looks retro from the 1990s Cardiff. And I kind of, we can hate on it, but I actually think they've hit really well. If this was so my thing would be if you know what, we talk about the retro night that the Elite League does every year around March time, I think. And my biggest thing about it is I always talk about the fact, like, I hate it whenever teams kind of either go half in or they don't really do the retro style correctly. That if this was retro night, that white one would be, I'd be saying that's hit the mark. That's done really, really well at hitting that retro
That
style.
begs the question then. That begs the question: what are Cardiff going to do for retro night?
They'll probably bring back a real classic design from back.
Are they going to come out in wool?
Maybe, yeah. I never know. The first ever jersey design. I don't know, but
how many people out there can crochet the Motorpoint logo into a wool jumper?
What I'm really trying to say is
that would be
the white one looks good. I think the white one hits the mark. What I don't like is, or what I think they should have done is, don't add the Flames to the red and the black one, and change it up a wee bit so that the design on the bottom looks more. They are. That's why I'm saying the black and the red one should be changed in a way that it makes so it kind of is relevant to that logo from that era. So
I think what they've tried to do is have that consistent design at the bottom. And that's what ties them in. I think if it had the Flames had been, if they desperately wanted the Flames to do them like transparent or have them like the mummy pattern in the back of the Giants jersey last year. So it was there, but it was kind of transparent.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's what I don't like about the green jersey is the fact that the Flames are over the Devils logo, and I don't know. It's like, what's the most important thing on a jersey? To me, it's the logo. It's the team logo. Now, whether that's a past one or a present one, and I get in Welsh it says Cardiff, and they're identifying themselves as Cardiff. That's fine, but that green season ticket jersey looks absolutely grim.
Before we move on from these jerseys,
there's so little design.
Before we move on from these jerseys, can I also just point out how god awful? Like, what were these companies that are sponsoring these teams? Like, what were they thinking when they were thinking? Like, obviously these logos probably have been around for a while, but oh my god, like, modernize your font or something. Like, these
Castle Diaries.
Awful. Font is just like it's hurting my eyes looking at the font for Castle Dairies, as well as that Barbara's. What is Barbara's? I can't read the bottom part of Barbara's. I don't know what it is.
Beerhouse.
Is it? Okay. Again, the font is awful.
You know, the other thing that really bugs me, and we talk about it on a lot of jerseys, see those arm logos, especially on the red one and the black one where they're quite visible. They're just in boxes.
Yeah.
They're logos in boxes. Like, do something interesting with that.
But I'll defend that actually because that's a contradiction to the thing you mentioned earlier, which was like it's fairly clean, right? You've got the top logo or top sponsor, bottom sponsor. Where else are they going to put them? So down the arms is a
They don't.
great
They don't
place.
have to be. They don't have to be in big white boxes.
I'm just saying it's a lesser of two evils.
Look, I'm a
Do you know what
chumpy old
made me
man,
think
and
of
I just
what-
really don't like any of them.
It's probably the picture quality here, but they instantly made me think of Temu. You know, have you ever bought a t-shirt from Temu and it's that weird kind of like sporty kind of fake material?
Yep.
Like every
Yeah.
Socky jersey ever made.
No, not quite a Socky jersey, but yeah, maybe no. It just made me feel Temu. I think these are Temu jerseys.
Temu jerseys. The Cardiff
Yeah.
Temu jerseys. Nice.
Shall we move on and move away from the Cardiff Devils and
Sure.
have a look at the Glasgow Clan? Now,
Beautiful jersey.
I've kind of
Beautiful
gone in.
jerseys.
I've gone in on Glasgow on one of these this week already. Now the other two have just been released today. So the jersey on the far left, the purple one, the mostly purple one in black, is the season ticket exclusive jersey, I believe. Don't mind it, but they have advertised it as featuring the what is it? The iconic Highland cow. It's in the
Coo.
armpit.
Highland Coo. You're
The
from Scotland.
The Highland Coo is in the armpit, which to me is just brutal. Like to do it that kind of way.
Can we
The
just
other two,
without kind of giving they're all Warrior jerseys, by the way. So these are Warrior designed jerseys. So we could be freely say
so we're
what we
allowed
want.
to have a go at them. The
Interesting.
other two jerseys were released today, and I'm just going to double check that I get this right because I'm pretty sure. I'm right.
Why is the
Albert
They are
clock
the-
on them?
Yes, pre-season jerseys.
What? yeah, oh, yeah.
Why is the Albert clock on them?
They've gone with that. I never ever like these jerseys, and this is something that is a consistent thing for me. I don't like the Skyline jerseys. I hate it. I realize they've got the Finiston crane on the preseason jerseys and a couple other things on there. It's fine if you like that. I hate it. If you can't have local identity on your jersey with your logo without having to put the skyline of it as the background, as a ghosted background, this looks like clip art. I'm sorry, it's awful. I don't think it's. I think it would be insulting to call it AI slop because I think it's someone who just figured out how to use the transparency function on
Jesus, John, hold
simplest
back, would you?
editor ever. It's awful. These are awful. These are all awful. The only saving grace is they've gone for a lace jersey on the preseason.
This is
ones.
really nice.
That's it.
I think you're being awfully harsh. I quite like the really purple one that you went off online about.
The arm
is your-
detailing's nice. I gave it that.
Say it again.
The arm detailing, the knotwork, the Celtic knotwork on the arm is nice. I do like that. That's where it ends. If they could give me that as two like arm warmers, I would wear that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. If you had the purple jersey and you took up now, I'm the opposite as you, John. And we had this conversation I think last year, where I don't mind a jersey that adds on the skyline of a team, the skyline in, if it's done well. So if it's done well, I really like it. But this hasn't been done well, as you said. It looks like, yeah, as you say, like someone's went into Photoshop, stuck the image on, desaturated the color. Yeah, it does look like I 100% get that. If that purple jersey had the skyline taken out, and if you keep the coup in, if you want to keep the coup in, that's fine. But take that skyline out, this would be a very nice jersey. I would like it, I think, more. And yeah, the other two jerseys, yeah, I mean, I get it what they're trying to do, but the white and purple one, so the far left image, whatever way you're looking at, right image, the white and purple one, actually I wouldn't mind, but again, if if they didn't have the skyline thing in that one again, as you say, it would be a nice clean jersey, and I would have liked it more. I think. Yeah, I don't like them. Oh,
The only one that I dislike is the center one.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Or a decent attempt at a skyline.
Mhm.
Right. We're all okay. We're all fine that they don't always hit home, but I think they're a decent attempt at it.
Yeah, it's not great. John, did we lose you?
Interestingly, I think the
I
preseason
wish they
jerseys
would have
have
done
been
the.
taken. I think the preseason jerseys have been taken off their shop.
Really?
I
can't
wish they
find
would have
them.
done
The only one I can
eyes
find is
on
that
the back
preseason
of
jersey.
them.
Yeah, I want to know how much they were, but the the season ticket jersey is 65 quid for that.
Standard.
I imagine the other ones would be 65 quid, and sorry, that's not 65 quid's worth of jersey. Anyway,
I wonder why
Let's
the
move
other
on.
ones don't have the Celtic designs on them.
because they forgot they're a Scottish team. Moving on, we await more Elite League jerseys to drop. I imagine actually as the fixtures are now starting to drop and teams are now selling more equipment sponsorships, I think we're going to see more of the regular season jerseys start to drop fairly soon. A lot of people having a go at the Flyers in particular because they put out a graphic this week that showed all of the available sponsorships, shirt sponsorships that were still available. The vast majority are still available, and it's because nobody has seen the jerseys yet. So why would you sell something or why would you buy something that you haven't seen yet? Because it might be absolutely bloody horrendous.
Per five, damned if they do, damned if they don't.
What are you saying there? Sorry, so because there's lots of sponsorships available, people are saying because I haven't seen the jersey.
Yeah, people.
Do you think
haven't bought them yet.
sponsorship? People haven't bought the sponsorship or haven't
Own
sponsored them?
and loan. Own and loan.
No, I don't buy that. I think maybe it's only certain fan bases. I think there's certain fan bases would just kind of, even before seeing a jersey, would just be like, yeah, I want it, so therefore I'm going to sponsor it even before I see it. So I don't really buy that. I don't know if that's the reason. I just think maybe Fife have just had a real, I don't know. The Fife Flyers press release jersey, all Texas in color. Again, back to fonts, Anyway, yeah, I see
Guys,
that.
let's move on. Let's move on because we're gonna spend ages talking about this, and more jerseys will drop, and we'll get to talk more about them at that point, rather than just guessing here. I want to bring these up. Milton Keynes Thunder. How epic are all of these jerseys? Sorry, they're absolutely stunning.
Yep.
Wow.
10 out of
No
10,
notes.
no notes. Well done, Thunder.
Love it.
Oh, they're amazing. They are genuinely, they're stunning. They're amazing.
I really like even the date on the collar.
Oh yeah. In the
How long
inside.
the team's been about. Love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're
So
they're
these are
genuine.
25th anniversary jerseys. Of course, Anthony got there before me, and yeah, we might be slightly swayed because of that use of teal, but I mean,
I want
depending on how the Giants jersey looks this year, that might be something I'd drop a couple of quid on.
that middle one. That one's really lovely.
I would go, either of
Go
the
white.
main logoed ones. But the white is screaming at me, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Absolutely
nice.
stunning. Every
Well
single one of them.
well
Like I
done.
say, 10 out of 10, no notes.
Round of
I will be
applause.
I'll be doing a TikTok video on these ones because I haven't had a chance to do one yet, but I will give the Thunder their moment in the spotlight with these jerseys because they are just stunning.
They're so good.
We carry on and we go to the SNL. This is the last jersey for us to have a quick look at. This is the Dundee Rockets. They've revealed their jersey for this season, supplied to them by Hercules, and yep, that's a hockey jersey. I think they're somewhat stuck with their design because of their logo. Their logo is quite busy and needs to be quite big to be clear. But I do like the color shifts between them. So on the white jersey, it's like all red on the R with the rocket, and then blue with the shooting star. But on the navy, they've added a couple of red accents on the sort of swooshes off the R, and I think that really works. It suffers a lot because they've had to put literally in words, Dundee Rockets underneath it. If they hadn't done that, I think I'd be more inclined towards this jersey. So one or two small niggles, but actually, for a red, white, and blue jersey, it's not actually that bad.
I think the blue is my favorite here. I really like the strong blue, and I think it quietens the logo down, as you're mentioning there. The wee red
I think
flares
because
are great.
it's in relief. Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit better. I think on white everything's very bold on there, in the opposite way as it was on the Milton Keynes jersey, like in a bad way, as opposed to on the Milton Keynes jersey, it was in a good way.
Yeah, they're and actually both this jersey and the Thunder jersey that we just saw there, they are fairly simple designs, but they work compared to the messy, full-on background design of the Glasgow clan that we saw. Simple designs, block colors. They just I think we always kind of hone in on those ones.
Yep, 100%. That's it, Murray. That's the end of the jerseys. I'm going to take them off the screen now. We will certainly come back as more get released, and keep your eyes on TikTok, because as jerseys get released, I, of course, will review them on TikTok.
I can't wait. I'm just sitting. I'm gonna, when the Belfast jersey gets dropped, I'm just gonna crack open a beer and just sit there waiting.
Do you know what you do, Aaron? You go straight to our TikTok channel. You make sure that you're subscribed, and you hit that bell to make sure that you get notifications for every single time that I post.
Look at that! Like he's practiced it.
You mean you haven't already? Let's just finish off the podcast with let's have a just quick look at the upcoming fixtures and preseason, because by the time we come to our next podcast, the first of the preseason games will have begun. The preseason is literally now 2 weeks away for the Cardiff Devils. Anyway, the Cardiff Devils are the first team in the Elite League to do a pre-season game. The Cardiff Devils will face off against the Odessa Bulldogs, and that will be on the 15th and 16th of August. Cardiff Devils then are back in action again on Saturday the 22nd, and then that'll be followed by the Guildford Flames, Dundee Stars, Nottingham Panthers. That's the same weekend of the 22nd to 23rd. Belfast's first preseason game will be on the 28th, as well as the Fife Flyers there on the 20th, and the Glasgow Clan will also be the 28th. Guildford back in action, Sheffield and Cardiff. Sheffield have their first against Cardiff Devils on the 29th, Coventry and Manchester, Dundee. So by the time it comes to the weekend of the 29th of August, 30th of August, all teams will have played some form of pre-season games. I mean, 2 weeks away. This 2 weeks this Saturday to our first hockey of the year. I mean, I know it's not our own team, the Belfast Giants, but as hockey fans and as Elite League fans, I mean, it's just so close. Like you can literally just smell the ice, the fresh ice. I mean, obviously the questions we've been putting questions in our socials, asking the fans from right around the league, about the fact that it's coming up and the excitement, and you can see people are starting to really gear up and getting excited about it all coming back. Off season's nice in some ways. You can take a bit of a break and a bit of a breather from things that are going on, but at the end of the day, we're big hockey fans, and we just love whenever it returns properly for local. And I know before Anthony says anything, there's hockey right across the summer, and you can go on, you can watch stuff in Australia and blah blah blah. I mean live hockey in the UK, going to watch live hockey and sitting in an arena and all that whole atmosphere that you get from seeing friends in the crowd, in the stands, and everything else. That's all coming back, which is really exciting. Guys, I know me and Dave have our tickets for the Belfast Giants games on the 28th and the 30th. I don't either of you joining us for those. I know, John, you won't be able to, but Aaron, will you join us for any of the preseason games?
I got to get the tickets built and then get you joined.
Perfect. I think you should, definitely. And John, I don't think we'll be seeing you for the preseasons.
No, not for preseason. There is a match that interests me in preseason, which is local here. There's two, to be honest, and it's Fife. It is Fife. I'm interested to see what they can put on the ice this year with Tim Wallace taking the reins there, and there seems to be a direction of travel with that team which I'm interested to see. They're looking at a lot of Brits. They're looking at being very Brit heavy, very young Brit heavy. And their preseason leans towards that as well. They're taking on, I think, Kiev Capitals, but the other two are interesting. They're taking on the Hull Seahawks. So obviously Tim has gone to his NIHL phone book and organised that with the Seahawks. Of course, formerly the Hull Stingrays, which were an Elite League franchise for a long time. But they're also going to take on the Kirkcaldy Kestrels. I don't know the last time that game was played as a local derby. So that is top tier team playing the second string team. And the Kestrels arguably have had a better run over the last few years than the Flyers have. Now, I can't imagine the absolute shitstorm that would come if the Kestrels somehow in the Flyers' final preseason game were able to beat the Flyers. Now, that game
It feels like it's already
it happens. It does.
It just
feels like I have to go, and it feels like I have to wear my Kestrels jersey.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've got to go down and I've got to wear my Kestrels jersey for it. So
there you go. 5 Flyers update saying the Flyers versus Kestrels is mixed teams.
I'm disappointed, but I still hope the Kestrels win.
I'm very excited. I can't wait. It's so close. For some, for some teams, it's even closer. So for those Cardiff Devils fans listening, I mean, we're jealous already because it's like 2 weeks away for you guys to get into the arena and enjoy a hockey game. But
I will definitely be making a trip. I'll be making a trip at some point. Now I've told you guys that I am, like, unofficially, I'm going to be losing my my regular bed come the start of the season because I won't have a place to stop off. But I'm sure I'll just turn up at one of your doorsteps and you'll let me sleep on the couch or something.
Yes, that's completely fine. Yeah. I'm sure one of us will welcome you in. I've said already.
I'll take the recycling out. I'll walk the dogs. I'll do whatever. I'll take kids to the parks. Whatever.
My dog likes you more than she likes me, so I'm a bit fragile about the fact that you come and stay in here because my dog likes you more. Speaking of regular fixtures, the full fixture list for the 2026-2027 Motorpoint Elite League has been published, and we now know obviously what the fixtures are for this coming year. The first action is the Challenge Cup group stage, which will get underway on Saturday, the 12th of September. 5 games will open the new campaign before the regular season runs through a full final round of fixtures up until Sunday, the 4th of April. Challenge Cup begins the season with Group A fixtures concluding on 1st of November as Manchester Storm will face against Cardiff Devils, and Group B runs through until the following weekend where the Dundee Stars take on the Glasgow Clan in the final game of the group stage. Sorry, John, it's going to take right up until November. League action begins on the 20th of September with Glasgow Clan, Sheffield Steelers and Dundee Stars against the Coventry Blaze. The big thing about it, though, is, and I can't find the date here, but the Belfast Giants announced their first regular league game isn't going to be until something like November.
Whoa!
I think so.
October, November.
First league home game is like the 6th of November or something?
First league
home game.
Yeah.
Or all any league.
So for Belfast Giants fans, that means we get to sit through Glasgow, Fife, and Dundee for 2 full months. So great. But yeah, it's interesting. But we've looked at the fixtures. Any fixtures so far, John? Then we'll go to you first because obviously you were talking about coming over. Any fixtures jumping out at you? You're like, I'm going to come over for these specific ones, or is there any fixtures that away games that you've looked at and you thought I'll maybe look into those ones?
Listen, I'm in exactly the same boat as the fans of 9 other teams across the Elite League right now, and the first thing I did was look at what are the games in Manchester. All of us are desperate to go to the AO Arena. Let's be totally honest. We all want to see what the product's going to be. We want to see what the setup is. So yes, at some point I will be going down to Manchester. Sadly, I was hoping for an away stand or an away weekend for the Giants, which was going to include a Scottish team and Manchester, so that we can arrange something for you guys to come over. But that hasn't materialised. There is literally no weekends where the Giants play in Scotland and Manchester, or the other way around. So that's just not going to work. The other side is I still have a couple of arenas to go to. Whether or not I can manage it this year, don't know. Still have the new arena in Cardiff to go to. Still have Coventry, would you believe? I still haven't been to.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So I've got a couple that I need to tick off the list. So I might have a look at those. As far as home games are concerned, honestly, I'm not going to look at the Scottish teams because most of my hockey these days tends to be going to see the Giants against the Scottish teams anyway, because I can get to them fairly easily. But some of the double headers look quite interesting, quite tasty. I think there's a, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there's a Sheffield doubleheader and a Cardiff doubleheader towards the end of the season. So I think those might be on my list for visiting over. And of course, if I can swing it, Friendship 4.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. I'm still in early talks about potentially still doing France as a Continental Cup weekend. So, yeah.
Oh, well, that being said, grand final. If we
Grand
get the grand final, I'll be there.
Yep. Fixtures always are a fun day whenever the fixtures get released and you have a quick look through to see, right, well, where we're going, what we're doing, when's the first game, when's this team coming, and there's been a lot of good comments of people saying exactly the same thing. We did ask those questions and people were saying, that first home game, looking to see the fixture, or as you said, John, specific double headers, and some people around at Christmas time and what the fixtures look like around Christmas. So, but yeah, we're nearly there. I do agree
with John, though. It's super exciting to see the Manchester Arena.
Yeah, 100%.
Or the AO Arena.
Yeah, 100%.
It will be absolutely class.
Before we finish off the podcast for this week, we did reach out on our socials this week and we asked for questions, and people have delivered. So I have a couple of questions. I thought we may as well end the podcast with a little bit of a question and answer kind of session, and kind of get your thoughts on some of the things that people have been putting through. If you guys are happy with that, I can start with the first one. So the first question that the first question put to the team is, with over half the teams now what we would call arena teams, how does the league grow as a brand? John, do you want to take that one first?
How does it grow as a brand? TV or some sort of streaming service, which is unified across the league. I think that is something that needs to be done, and it should be a no-brainer. There should be someone working on that right now in EIHL HQ, wherever that happens to be right now. I think separately from that, I think you've got to be looking at expansion. We all know that the Prime Arena in Dublin is moving forward. They've got their backing, they've got their planning permission. They're now just waiting to break ground. So the hope is, and the other thing is, we know that they've been granted, I believe, a franchise for the Elite League as well. So we will have a Dublin team. I'd like to see it stay as even numbers though, just for the maths of the fixtures and everything. So I'd like to see us expand probably into the sort of either the northeast of England or down into the west. So really my two go-tos are go back to Newcastle and resurrect the Vipers, or let's have a Liverpool team. All the talk of Liverpool, let's have it. Let's have that Liverpool franchise.
Has there ever been a Liverpool franchise? Not like
Nope.
not even
There are
not
talks.
like, even.
Nope.
Nope.
There are talks for a rink in Liverpool at the minute. So that's probably it'll either be a rink or a multi-use arena like the Prime Arena in Dublin. So that's where I think it should go.
Okay. Nope. Fair. Aaron, anything to add?
I think John stole the two. Well, the one that I wanted to really go for was the one online streaming platform would be the biggest one. I think it's the most expansion is always a good thing. Sounds like it will get there at one stage, but I think that something that's accessible at this point is having that online streaming platform. I think TV's a bit of a step. We can't control that, but I think as a league we could control and adapt to one streaming platform. Like that's something that we can control. The other things, I don't think we can.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I should say that
What
was.
about you, Maury?
I would say probably what you guys have said. I think the biggest thing is the TV type thing or the streaming service or something. I mean, we've talked about streaming service before and how difficult that would be because obviously the revenue that brings in for each team so individually. So how do you create a streaming service that is fair to all of the teams for them all to get specific money that doesn't take too much money out of a fan's pocket and it's not too expensive for a fan to be able to buy into. It's a great goal and it's something that you would love to see. Just realistically, teams wouldn't want to give up that revenue that they bring in solely for themselves. And also then how do you price point that? How do you price it that because fans are probably only going to want to pay something that they would pay for a normal subscription to a streaming service. And yeah, so you kind of have to think about how that works and yeah
when you say that, like to get one game it's what 18 quid.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and that's one game. So
and listen,
how much would you be
willing? The Giants tried to sell the Giants tried to sell a streaming season ticket the first year I moved over here. It was exactly the same as an in-person ticket and I went absolutely no chance. I'm not spending that money to sit in my own home and watch a stream.
The other thing I think the league needs to do in order to grow as a brand, and this is just from my take, is I kind of feel like sometimes I just feel like there's not enough stories being told by the league. The league aren't very good at telling stories. They're not very good at kind of creating. Now, I'm going to say they've done something better this off season where they've started to try and they're trying to make it a bit more like joint up approach. So they've got all the teams to put out like, similar posts around the release dates and and promoting certain things similarly, and it's quite good. But I'd like to see more transparency and behind the scenes type stuff from the Elite League. I would like it to be more, like almost like fan focused rather than this like weird like okay the Elite League are here but we don't really know what goes on behind the doors. Like we don't know obviously we're never going to get the transparency for DOPS in terms of like where that money and stuff goes, but more transparency and more almost that they're more like fan engaged with fans rather than a bit standoffish. I think that's something
you just how we can fund the streaming service.
Oh, DOPS, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Answered. Done. I should say that was I'm trying to find the name of the person who asked that question because I want to just give him a shout out. That was on Instagram. Oh, it was JLim Storm on Instagram. We'll switch over to our next question. Next question comes from Pro Hockey Dublin, actually, over on Twitter. And they asked the question, what's your take on the Devils price increase? Because obviously we talked about the price increase that they added. And Todd Kelman obviously came out and done his conversation about, this is the reasons why and this is what we're doing, blah, 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 and the seats and all that kind of stuff. But what is your take now on the Devils price increase versus their actual final roster that they've put together? Do you have any takes on that?
John? I don't know. I did a quick TikTok live before we came on here, and I happened to mention about rosters and stuff and signings, and I don't like making suppositions about what a roster is going to do until I see them on the ice. We've seen it so many times that teams can look absolutely fantastic on paper, but then just don't compete. And Glasgow is a prime example of that, is that they consistently on paper look like they should be competing for silverware, at least the Challenge Cup, if not having a good run at playoffs, being consistently top 5, at least until Manchester moved into being an arena team. I don't know that you can weigh the two right now. I think you have to wait and see. You'd have to not take pre-season as well, because these are a bunch of guys who haven't played together yet. So you need to give it a couple of weeks into the Challenge Cup group stages. Cardiff are going to get a very good idea about where they are, because that England and Wales group, the bigger clubs get to play each other very quick, and they play each other a lot very early on. We become, as Belfast, we become the unknown quantity until we start playing league games, because we just play the Scottish teams. So none of the big teams down south really know what we're about. So as far as Cardiff's concerned, give it a couple of weeks into the Challenge Cup. Give it to the second week of September, and then come back to me, and I'll tell you what I think of whether Cardiff are delivering on that price increase.
But I think it's a bit like, it's not like Cardiff have been suffering for the last couple of years. Okay, maybe they haven't won anything major, but like, they obviously have the funding. They do pull in the players. It's not like, is it fair to pass on that cost directly to?
Not if you listen to Todd. Not if you listen to Todd and the way that he justified the price increase. He has basically said that this price increase is to compete. He says that we need to go to market, we need to go and get guys who are slightly more expensive than what we're currently able to go and get, and we need to be able to put a bigger worm on the hook to bring these guys over if we want to compete for silverware. Now, yes, they grabbed their Conti Cup in the sort of half format that it was,
and the playoffs,
but playoffs is a duck shoot. I mean, you get to the playoff final weekend. If Fife get there, Fife could win playoffs. Like, you just don't know. But yeah, Todd has said why he's increasing the prices, and why the Devils ownership have decided to increase the prices, why they're looking at more seats so they can bring in more money at that increased price. They have to deliver, because famously, we know that Cardiff Devils fans will turn very quickly on owners. It's happened, at least twice before. So they're on a ticking clock now. They've come out and said exactly why they're doing it. They have to deliver. They have to start lifting silverware.
Forgive my ignorance here. Like a cap on salaries? Do we not have that? So could we?
I mean,
I think something was grumbled about it at one point. Is
there a salary cap? Yeah, good question. In theory, I think there is a.
Listen, the league could say that there's a salary cap, and what it might actually be is 10 million a year. We just don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It could be. You can have 10 million, whether you have it or not.
But again, this goes back to that first question of transparency in terms of the you don't know. They've maybe mumbled about it at some point, but they don't actually put any transparency to say like which team has reached near close to that, or whatever. Obviously, they try to limit the number of imports and all that type of stuff to try and keep the costs and stuff down and make it more fair. But yeah, there's no real, someone's first line top, forward could be, 3 times more worth more than say one of the other team. It's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Interesting. It's what you can attract as a team as well.
I'm going to ask. I'll pick out 2 more questions, and then we'll leave it at that. We can maybe hold on to some of the others for the next podcast. The next one I have is from Sarah B on Facebook, and she asked, "Which team do you think so far has had the best off season, and any of them that have piqued your interest so far?" I'll start with that one. For me personally, not just because of the whole AO Arena thing, but Manchester have been an interesting team this year in terms of obviously the move to AO Arena, but also their signings they're bringing in seem to be quite trying to make statements with, making sure they are putting the players behind and their money and their players behind this move to show that actually it's not just a fancy move for us. It's also, we're here to play, we're here to compete, and it looks like they've put something interesting together. Now, is Manchester going to be the team this year that has a lot to prove, and like a bit like that Guildford run, after that really good run that Guildford had a few years back, and then everybody the year after there was like expecting big things from Guildford, and then there was a lot of pressure put on them. Is there going to be a lot of pressure put on Manchester this year because of the move and because of the signings and stuff they've made? Absolutely. I think there's a lot of pressure on them to perform and just pull in big things straight away this season, which is going to be very, very tough for them to kind of, keep that, keep the players level enough to kind of think, well, okay, pressure on us. We know there's pressure on us coming into the season, but we just kind of continue doing our thing and just kind of take every day, take game by game, and just try and just do our best as we go along. So I think Manchester, for me, is definitely have been an interesting one to follow this off season. And I don't know what you guys think, John. What about you? Any team particularly you think has been an interesting one to follow this off season?
I'm interested to see what Dundee kind of do, because they're going dual import on their netminders. They do have a young Brit on the roster as well, as opposed to Glasgow. And again, same ownership. So we've got an interesting dynamic between Dundee and Glasgow going into this season, with Michael O'Rourke owning both clubs. Dundee, I would argue, maybe haven't seen the second chancer signings that we thought they might have. So I think they could be interesting. The other side is Nottingham. They look interesting to me. They look like an incredibly strong defensive team that's been set up there this year. And they are as close to almost a full rebuild as you can get in the Elite League. A lot of player movements out of Nottingham this season. So a lot of new faces coming in there. So could be very, very interesting to see what Danny Stewart makes of. I mean, is this realistically Danny Stewart's first clean slate in Nottingham? Could well be. And interesting that he's going to be facing Jonathan Paredes in their first preseason game as well. He's coming back with, is it Angers? I think he's currently coaching for. So that'll be his first return to Nottingham since he left, having steered the club through what was an incredibly tough period a few years ago.
Yep.
I don't know if it's seeing what they're doing in the off season. John's already talked about them. Fife, with the amount of young blood that they're bringing in and things like that. I don't know if it's what's happening in the off season or just a general anticipation to see what happens with Fife this season, because we know that last year that they had a fairly tough time for various reasons, let's just say, and to see how they if they can turn that around and what stories come from them this year.
Here, failing that, I'm here for another complete PR meltdown. Like
100%. That's it, and that's why when the question came, I was like, I don't know if this is
things are boring with nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
That's very true. It's very true.
I don't know if this is a reflection on what I've seen about the off season or just anticipation to see what actually comes this season.
Yeah, no, I get it. One last question, and then we'll round it off for this week. This comes from, so I'm kind of guessing this is going to be like a Giants related question. The way it's been worded, I'm going to guess it's a Giants related one because it came in from at Giants Faithful on Instagram, and she asked, they asked, who is your early pick for Player of the Year before puck has even been dropped? So I'm going to guess it's a Giants fan, so I'm going to guess they're maybe talking about Giant, and given the fact we're Giants fans, I'm going to guess maybe they're asking what a Giants player potentially. So let's pick a Giants player just because we are Giants fans and it's a Giants fan that asked the question. Is there a player so far that you think you've identified from the ones that have been signed that you think is going to be an interesting signing this year? That's that what she would call, or this person called Player of the Year for you?
Kopsky.
Okay. Yeah. You still
full season with Belfast. The opportunity to go from the ground up, to have all the support that comes with being a Belfast Giant. I genuinely think that we could be looking at the closest that we've ever had to a replacement to Tyler Beskorowany. I think Kopsky is that good.
Oh wow. That's big bold. Do you know what? Actually, Kopsky was probably I'm interested to see what he does. I'm interested to see what he does with a full year with the Giants. He ended at the end of last season, and that playoff run and stuff. He definitely did pique my interest, and I thought he had some great performances. And he's probably one of the ones I did look at. But that's bold, John. That's bold. That's an interesting comment. Oh, wow. Aaron, any particular player? It can be player it's just coming back or a new player.
I've got to admit, I don't really I haven't put that much thought into that. I know Conway's back. Would love to see him back, and I just love his shits and giggles on Twitter, to be fair. So I'm gonna go Conway.
Yeah, perfect.
He's done good. And there was a bit quiet. Yes.
Yeah, honorable mention. Go
Can
for
I
it.
give an honorable mention? Another one that I would put right up there. We get a full healthy season out of Josh Roach. Lights out.
Yeah. Not that I'm not saying that this player is going to be a particularly showy player or going to have big numbers or is going to be potentially the star player of the year, but I am interested in Cole Shudra, who has moved from the Sheffield Steelers to the Belfast Giants. I'm very interested to see what happens with that move and how he clicks with the Belfast Giants this season. He was a fan favorite for a reason in Sheffield, and Sheffield fans really, really loved having him on their team. So I'd like to see how that pans out for him here in Belfast. We know that there's been history of Sheffield fans or Sheffield players coming to Belfast and it just doesn't really work out, and then they go back to Sheffield. We're looking at Whistle here, and we're looking at who else did we have? Dowdy, didn't he? Yeah, he was over for one season and then he went back to Sheffield. Isn't that what happened with him? So yeah,
but here, some of them come over here from there, stick it out, and then end up with a performance center named after them. So
that's, you know what? I'm going to start that now. I'm going to start that that campaign for the Colin Shields.
I'm going to make a Ted Lasso style paper sign. And the first time I'm over in Belfast, if it's not called that, I'm sticking it up above the door.
It was. I was. Wait, when you asked about the star player of the year, I was thinking and joking to say Shieldsy, because he's going to make them all star players, right?
Clearly. That's it. We have a few more questions which we didn't get around to. I just think we've came naturally to an hour and 30 minutes. I think let's cap it at that, and we'll maybe hold on to some of those questions. Some of them will work for our next podcast, because one question is about prediction stuff, and we will do our predictions later.
We do. Everyone knows we do. I get that on TikTok all the time. We do our predictions when we.
Has anyone ever looked back to see
the real season?
Has anyone ever? Have we ever called it?
Yeah, no, we did. No,
we've called one or two. We've called one or two. Nobody's ever got the sweep of all three trophies. Never.
Well, that's because we can't choose Belfast Giants, so
that's true. That's a really you made, by the way.
But because we're all going to say Belfast anyway. We'll get to it when we come to that episode. We'll
you never know.
Why.
You never know. Maybe there's these sleepers in the grass here who would just say Cardiff anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so. Right, okay, let's round off this podcast the way we always do, and point you in the direction of some of our. Let me just try and find where are those little things again. Yeah, there we go. Point in the direction of our socials and all that good old stuff. If you are watching, if you're not watching, we are a podcast, and we are on the podcast providers of choice. So don't forget to like and subscribe and link in with all of the podcast providers, wherever that may be. Leave us reviews, comments, whatever it is on your podcast provider of choice, because it helps us in the algorithms and all that stuff and getting pushed out there for others to hear us and hear this podcast. If you're listening to the podcast and you haven't watched us, you can check out the podcast. And if you're watching us on Facebook, you can check out our YouTube channel in this QR code that's now in the top corner of the screen. You can check out our videos. We do our shorts go up on there, which is effectively just our TikTok videos as shorts. We put those up as well as some little short form videos that we've done over the past year or so, and they're all up there as well. You can watch all of those. You can check out our website, door14hockey.com, and this is the QR code for that. You can check out this episode and all of the other episodes that we've done in the past, all on our website there. So follow that QR code that's now up in the top corner for anybody watching. And lastly, if you don't already subscribe to all of our socials, you can do so on this QR code that is in the top corner, and you can follow us on our link tree, which will take you to all of our socials. We're on all of them: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X at Door14Hockey. So get over there and follow the conversation. It's been a great summer of it's been a great summer of conversation over on the socials. There's been a lot of good engagement, a lot of good questions brought up, some great just responses to some of the questions we put out, and we try to kind of highlight some of those every week just to kind of show people, some of the great responses that have been out. So thank you very much for everyone who's engaged with that and who has took the time over the summer to kind of enjoy that for us. We will be continuing kind of doing that style at the moment over the next month or so, of just the kind of the questions and putting things out to you. But as soon as the hockey starts, the content will slightly change. We'll still be on socials as much as possible, but it'll slightly change and have a different structure to the week and a bit more of a different format, just to kind of look at reviewing games and all that type of stuff. So stick with us, and there's still stuff to come when the season starts properly. I don't think there is anything else. No.
No,
Okay,
that's
great.
good.
Well, then that just leaves us then to sign off for this week. Marty.
You were second in the intro.
God.
I'm Aaron.
I'm John. I'm third, apparently.
Have a great